Alright, hello everyone. I'm back with a new video and a new introduction, and I hope you guys like it. So intro aside, I'm going to talk to you about the tournament I entered this weekend. The tournament that I entered was the Pokemon Village Sunday Battle Royale series. They host tournaments every other Sunday, and it's a great way to get practice in. It's like a really low stakes tournament. I think it had the final count was 88 people that were in the tournament, just to begin with, and then this number kind of tapered off as we went down, as the tournament went on, just because of scheduling errors, and a lot of people who weren't doing well dropped out of the tournament. I've done a lot better than I've ever done in it before, and I kind of want to tell you guys about the journey I went on. And the journey starts with the team I made for this tournament. First, I'll give you a little breakdown of my team, the team that I used for this tournament, and that I used to make Top Cut for my first time ever. It is Those of you who watched my prior videos notice that it's similar to my snow team in regards to three Pokemon. That's Abomasnow, Amoonguss, and Tauros. All of them play pretty important roles in this tournament. Mostly Amoonguss and Tauros more than anything else. But first, let me go over the Pokemon that are different than before. So the first edition is Iron Bundle. I gave it Hydro Pump, Blizzard, Icy Wind, and Protect, and I just gave it a Life Orb. I figured with its insane speed and a special attack, it could just do lots of damage and usually move first, except when going against other Iron Bundles and Fluttermane and things like that. It was pretty reliable Pokemon. I do make a mistake with this moveset that I'll go over at the end of this video. Uh, no, there's no reason to do that. I should have had Freeze Dry on this thing instead of Blizzard. I had my idea in my head was that I'd have Abomasnow and Iron Bundle first. So we could we could double Blizzard, just do a ton of damage. It won't miss anything. Freeze Dry is definitely the way to go with all those pesky water types around, and I can't hit him super effective damage with Iron Bundle, and he just kind of gets walled by them. It's definitely the way to go. Let's go to Roaring Moon. I decided to go with Acrobatics and make him Terra Flying. So the idea is that he uses boost energy, boom, gone. He's got the attack boost, which is his highest stat, and then he gets the Acrobatics, which doubles in speed. It's 110 power move. That's now Terra, and now the boost from the booster energy. So he's doing a ton of damage. I also gave him Crunch and Dragon Claw for coverage. Moving on, we have Amoonguss. Standard set. I did say I was going to go over the new Pokemon first. Let me just quick skip to Scizor real quick. Scizzor's got Bullet Punch, Close Combat, Tailwind, Protect. I almost didn't bring Scizor. I had a Scizor in an earlier iteration of my Ice team, the Snow team, and he didn't fit too well, but he fit a lot better on this team, and the two reasons for that is Priority Bullet Punch. I guess everything on his whole kit was Bullet Punch, Close Combat, and Tailwind. All came in handy at most of my battles. He was just a really surprisingly good Pokemon. I gave him max HP and attack just so he could be pretty tanky. It hits like a truck. Aside from that, he just did great. I wasn't quite sure if I was gonna use Slowking or not, but I swapped him out for Slowking at the last minute. But aside from that, yeah, it's basically standard team with Bombasnow, putting up the Roar Veil, and Focus Sash, and Blizzard and Energy Ball. Amoonguss with the pretty powerful support. I want to change this move. I think maybe it's a Pollen Puff. Because I think that's a better move. Yeah, I think Pollen Puff is a better move than Protect. Or not, sorry, not Protect, Energy Ball. But otherwise, Amoonguss, great set. It was the Energy Ball. Here, a quick little stat rundown if you guys want to see. I'll just click over them real quick. Yeah, but with that out of the way, I'm just getting right into the journey I went on. So to start this journey, I'm going to explain how the rules of the tournament worked. So it was broken down into 6 Swiss rounds, which means that every player would be matched up with an opposing player of similar skill and win rate. These rounds were best of 3, where the player who won 2 games would achieve a point. At the end of the tournament, the players with the most points would advance to Top Cut, and from there, it was a simple bracket onward. My first opponent's team was a Parasong team. This is a pretty threatening team because obviously I'm just afraid of the mechanic of Parasong. I think it's a really powerful mechanic. But also I had made really theory crafted an idea of using a Parasong team. I really like the idea because of just being able to sit 3 turns and then win the game, or sit 3 turns and take out 2 of their Pokemon. But anyways, this is a very threatening one. But the real kicker was that they had thought of this idea to use a Fluttermane as their Parasong setter, along with the Screamtail, which I had thought of. But luckily, because I had theory crafted this team and made a whole video for you guys, I was able to see some of the weaknesses in it that I might have not have been able to. The first round I ended up leading Amoonguss and Roaring Moon. Because that's because I didn't really think about if they would lead with the pair song idea or not, or if they were gonna go and try to eliminate a Pokemon or two from the start and see what they could do. But they went with the pair song idea right away. I make a little bit of a misplay. I don't get any damage off or anything like that. And then what does my opponent do? They stall. So right now I'm sitting at 2 turn pair song. All I know I need to do is take out their Gothitelle ASAP. So I double into it and hope for the best. Then boom, we get it. We got it. Got the tail down. No longer have to worry about that Pokemon. Although what I do have to do now is I'm forced to switch out both of my Pokemon or just let them go down to Parasong. I decided to switch them. So what happens when I switch? Well, the Amoonguss gets a free Spore, sleeping my Scizor. Now I'm in a bad situation where they have 2 Pokemon awake, I have one asleep, and one of their awake Pokemon is a dangerous Iron Bundle. So I stall as long as I can for my Scizor to wake up and set up a Tailwind. Further putting me in the grave is that this Iron Bundle is faster with his speed than he is a special attack, so he's always going to go first, even if I get this Tailwind off. After surviving on 2 HP, my Tauros stalls for an extra turn, and my Scizor gets to wake up, so the situation is getting better. Unfortunately, Tauros does go down next turn. Scizor gets some damage off on their Amoonguss, and I bring in my Roaring Moon. At this point, I just hope that he can take a hint from the Iron Bundle. So I protect the Roaring Moon and Bullet Punch on the Amoonguss, hoping that I can get enough damage on the Amoonguss to take it out with a Bullet Punch next turn, and to see what I can do further with Roaring Moon. Luckily, they switch out the Amoonguss for a Fluttermane, and just ends up getting bashed with a Bullet Punch. And I'm able to end the first game with a win. For the next round I adjust and change my lead up a bit. This time I go with Scizor and Abomasnow, hoping to lay down the snow and perhaps have a little bit more threatening to lead to his Parashong idea. Unfortunately, Abomasnow's damage output is underwhelming, and Fluttermane is once again able to get off the Parasong. Once again, they go for the double protect. Predicting this, I put up an Aurora Veil to try to get as much as I can out of a bad situation. With 2 more of Parasong turn, I know this is my final chance. So as I switch into the Amoonguss, I double down on the Gothitelle, hoping to take it out. Unfortunately, it survives with like a sliver of HP left, and they both end up going down the next turn. Now they have 3 Pokemon left and I only have 2. One of them is their Parasong user. Now I have to predict every single protect correctly and knock out all of their Pokemon in one hit to win. Luckily, I have a Roaring Moon. So thanks to a bit of luck in my opponent's misplays, I was able to take the first round, 2 wins, 0 losses. Unfortunately, after this, things tend to get a little rocky. For the sake of brevity, I'll do a quick rundown of each of the battles hereafter. This next battle I take at a loss, as I go against a team that's similar to mine, but it has a strong Trick Room option in Arcanine. I wish they had gone for the Trick Room option because the Arcanine walls my team. I think the really big issue with this matchup is that they go with the Arcanine that has the option to Terra type into water. So the Arcanine already on itself is pretty threatening, with a 4x super effective hit against Scizor, as well as Abomasnow. But with that Terra water type, except for the Amoonguss, I can't really hit it with anything super effective damage. At first you think, yeah, the Abomasnow, but then you throw it in, he gets brought out. He gets brought down to a sash with a flame charge, and then whoever his teammate is can just take him out. Or even the next turn, he can just hit him with a snarl or something, and then that covers both things and lower special attack. And then whatever was else on his team would just one-shot it. This problem would be a whole lot easier to solve if I had put freeze dry on my iron bundle. Unfortunately, that lack of foresight was kind of the death to me in this battle. I mean, that wasn't the only part. Kudos to them for just being a strong battler over a round, and they did not make it easy. The whole time, I was hoping for that Trick Room that did not show up that I was ready to counter. Also, their iron, I believe it's the iron, not the iron bundle, but the Hariyama clone was quite threatening. The whole time I expected an acrobatics to be able to one-shot it from from a Roaring Moon, but it wasn't able to do so. So at this point I was 1-1, one win, one loss, hoping that if I can continue playing well going forward, I'd make it to Top Cut. This next match was probably one of my favorites that I had in the whole tournament. My opponent brought a really interesting team, including Brute Bonnet, Iron Hands, that's what it's called, Iron Hands, and Garnacular. Unfortunately for him, this Garnacular was not an asset to his team. However, the rest of his team was really fun to play against. We even had this one situation pop up where he Terra typed his Brute Bonnet into a Poison type, only for my Amoonguss to spore him and sound him to sleep. I cannot repeat this process, or I guess this scenario, in the second game, but it was still just a lot of fun. Roaring Moon was a huge bonus to me on this game. I feel like everyone really pulled their weight that I brought. Scizor, Roaring Moon, Iron Bundle, and even um I guess that's all of them. Amoonguss, yeah. Yeah, everyone really pulled their weight. I feel like every member of my team is contributing. They just could use a couple of small edits to really be threatening. So this makes me really wonder how much I really need Abomasnow for this team. He's great to have. I just feel like he doesn't keep up with the rest of them. You know, with all these crazy stats, and Amoonguss is a super support. And I mean, Scizor did really well. He ended up taking out um, their pyramids of Giza, that salt Pokemon. With a close combat, he two-shot it. I don't know what its stat lat was, obviously, but he did great. Something I also learned from this battle is that Brute Bonnet, despite having like better stat totals for like attacking and stuff, is not a different Amoonguss option. They're similar. They are based off each other, obviously, but Brute Bonnet is not just a better Amoonguss. Amoonguss is tankier, and that poison typing of his is really nice, especially with things like Fluttermane running around. I think Brute Bonnet has the option to be support and the option to be offensive. So I think it's just that's where their paths diverge. Brute Bonnet can be a little support, a little of attack, and Amoonguss can be full support. Also, something I learned from this battle is that, and I like to look forward to against my opponents, is that not a lot of his Pokemon had Protect. This was another key deciding factor in this battle, because I could protect Stall's turn and get into a better position, and then I always knew that my attacks were going to land if I was faster, or even if I could just take a hit. Like, he was definitely playing at a deficit because of the lack of Protect on this Pokemon. So that's one of the things I really learned from this game is make sure majority of your Pokemon have Protect. I think it's okay if like one or two, don't have it, like obviously if a choice band user, assault vest user, you can't put protect in that Pokemon. But protect definitely is like the best move in doubles. Alright, with that said, let's move on to the next game. So this is probably the most tense set in the entire tournament for me. So what I'm thinking is that I'm definitely gonna post a link to this battle in the episode description so you guys to watch. But basically it all happened because they have this crazy combination of a Fire Terra Gastrodon and a Fire Tauros. Now the reason why this is crazy is that first turn, as you can see here, they have on the screen, they have this Fire Tauros and Gastrodon. What do? They Terra the Gastrodon. It's like big deal. It's Terra Gastrodon. You have a Terra Water Tauros. You have a Iron Bundle. Whatever. No. See, Gastrodon has Water Absorb, which increases its special attack when you hit it when anyone uses a Water type move. So now this Tauros, he is no longer afraid of Water type moves. The Gastrodon doesn't have to worry about Water type moves. The Tauros is a threat to my Snow guys, and I can't fight it back with Water type moves. It's like, okay, so my only option then was to try to bring in Roaring Moon and Acrobatics the Tauros. Amoonguss can't come in easily because he is hit super big damage from the Tauros. My only hope here was I had to keep switching in my Tauros in and out and trying to get it in a position where it could use Intimidates to lower their attack, as well as, see, I didn't think of it at first and I wave crashed and I ended up just increasing attack. That really put me in a hole. I was able to dig my way out of it this first round, and I was able to, I basically lost to a double protect, where they got it 2 times in 2 turns, which was heartbreaking. But they definitely won fair and square, no luck even close the next 2 rounds. One round, I ran out of PP because they put themselves in such a good situation. Not PP with all my moves, just with I think close combat was what Scizor had and Tauros, and I couldn't use any Water type moves with the Bull. So I had I put on there basically I had to press close combat because he couldn't use Water type moves and Scizor's not doing any damage with the Steel type move. But the last round came down to if I clicked Raging Bull instead of Wave Crash, there was a chance I could have won. But yeah, this is definitely the most tense match. I wanted to go through it the whole thing, but for the sake of not making this video super long and doing all of them like that, especially when this one is 3 sets, I think I'm just gonna link this to another video in the description. So we'll see how that goes. I might link all of them in order. No, I'll just link this one and the prior one, I think. Yeah. Unless you guys are really interested, I'll edit the description and put links to all of the videos. Or I might just put them all up on YouTube channel. We'll see what happens. Yeah, something I learned from this video is really the power of a really good synergy with your team, I think. That's the kind of synergy my team is missing now that the Titan is gone and now that a Abomasnow is not quite as powerful as it used to be. But I'll figure something out going forward. Also, this is just like an idea I had not considered at all. Like, this is the only guy who I've seen use Gastrodon. That's why I like that idea that, like, there's a lot of situations where a lot of different types of Pokemon can be used. This doesn't feel like a Pachirisu winning Worlds moment because it's such a good idea, and Gastrodon's a way better Pokemon. But like, I like the inventiveness that can come when creating a meta, basically. This match is a real close one for me. I ended up taking the first set without too much difficulty. What's really significant about it is that they find a way to use Iron Thorns. Now granted, it's not the most effective way, because it's not the most effective Pokemon. But they do what they do is they have an option for Trick Room on this team, while at the same time having the Iron Thorns have a loaded dice, so we can hit moves like, what's it called? Rock Blast, I think, up to 5 times. Unfortunately, this is not the most reliant method, as I found out, is that he is unable to one-shot my Abomasnow, only hitting it 4 times at one point. So, not the greatest start for him, or at least the greatest game for him, luck-wise. And it always sucks to win with luck, but like, that's just part of the game. Also, something I learned from this match is that when you have too many Pokemon who are Paradox Pokemon, they don't typically just synergize well with each other. Like this guy had Brute Bonnet, Iron Bundle, Iron Thorns. Like I only have 2 of them, while he ended up having a couple more, and I've seen my other opponents have more than that. However, the problem is that they are very specialized Pokemon, and they don't always mesh well. Sure, you can like find the good specialization, stuff like that, but they're all kind of fighting at a deficit because they don't all have the ability. You can give one of them the booster energy. You can't give all of them the booster energy. Because of that, they're all going to be very specialized Pokemon, but without an ability. And I think that's kind of my teammate's downfall here, because I fully take advantage, if I'm remembering correctly, of Amoongus's Regenerator in this round. And I fully take advantage of well, obviously Scissor's Technician. That's not really much because it just lets him use Bullet Punch, like more damage. But I definitely use Blizzard, and Snow Warning to the full advantage. I just think he's playing at deficit here, using too many Paradox Pokemon. That being said, my opponent, he did great. He put up a good fight. You know, he just, at the end of the day, ended up taking the win. Another thing I really liked about his team is that he had a Grass Terra type on his Iron Thorns, which really made it difficult for me to, like, decide which, I guess, type. It was just a weird matchup to get the right situation, to get the right typing to hit it with. A super effective move. Like, Iron Bundle, I think, though, covered him really well. Because if he Terrastalize, then I hit him with a Ice type move. If he didn't, I hit him with a Water type move. The one thing that it was though is that like, if he wasn't Terrored, he always had the option of Terroring, tanking a Water type move, and then taking out my Iron Bundle. Because even if my Iron Bundle had a Focus Sash, which I ran Life Orb, but even if it had a Focus Sash, you could take him out with that loaded dice and using Rock Blast. Just because it's a multi-hit move and that's not gonna save you if you have a Focus Sash. Another thing I really like about this is that there's so many different options that these Paradox Pokemon present. Though I am kind of disappointed that I never got to see a Screamtail being used. Because I really think a Screamtail would be a really good Pokemon in this format. I want to figure it out. I'm not gonna be on this team. I'll probably edit this team. It's not like I'm gonna switch Abomasnow for Screamtail or anything. But I am definitely gonna make a team with Screamtail on it. Alright, so with 3 wins and 2 losses, I entered the final round of Swiss rounds. Now I would like to say that I fought the good fight and won the next round no problem. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I won by default. Hey, winning by default, still winning, right? I guess I'll take it, and I moved on to Top Cut. Now what I'd like to do is show you my final game of Top Cut and break it down just like I did the first battle. Fortunately, I can't do that either, because while I was recording my game, my capture card froze with the screen like this right before the battle started. But I will say that I didn't win. Still, that was the first time ever I had made it to Top Cut in any sort of tournament, especially one that started off with 88 people. I just like to see that after playing this game and working on my team and just practicing, I've gotten way better at the game. And I might be able to make series that don't say, terrible, let's be bad at VGC together. And I don't have any notions of grandeur or anything. And who knows if I'll ever go to an actual regional. But for right now, it's good to see that I'm making progress, and I hope you guys are making progress as you go on this journey with me. Well, while we play VGC and just have fun playing Pokemon. See you guys.